It's a hot mic. It's a hot mic. Are you ready?
Yeah. I mean, I just burped like 2 minutes ago.
Can't reach the buttons. You shoved me over in a corner. I can't reach my buttons.
Oh, baby. No one puts baby in a corner.
Oh. I set that one up and it was just as lame as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
It was really bad.
At least I didn't start singing Loosen Up My Buttons, baby. Because that went across my mind too. I reach your buttons.
What?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Hello chat, what's up? Hello to everyone who's hanging out. Shut up, don't judge our lame jokes.
I'm not a comedian.
But you got a funny face.
But I'm also not a cat.
What?
Oh, you've seen the meme.
Oh, the lawyer cat meme. Yeah. Okay. The delivery of that was really bad. I'm sorry. That was not good.
I'm not a comedian.
That's not good. 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 You know what? Let's start a podcast. That's what we're here for. That's what we're good at. Hello, welcome to Learning the Law, a podcast about all things legal with a focus on current events, where we try to teach you things in 1 hour. My name is Ashley, aka Phoenix Nymphy, and my co-host, who is a terrible comedian, and the man of the hour, my husband, Ron.
Hello.
It's a good thing you're pretty. This podcast is purely educational and should not be taken as legal advice. This podcast does not create an attorney-client relationship. This podcast is based on our interpretation of relevant law, mostly his because he's a lawyer. Many opinions that are expressed are the opinions of the individual making them and do not reflect the opinions of any firm, company, or other individuals. Ron is a licensed practicing attorney in the state of California.
That is correct.
Since 99.
September.
Oh my God. This is a live show.
Live shot show.
We stream this live on my Twitch channel. So we just go for it, right? So, oh man, how you doing? Why are you reading chat? I will read chat. Don't worry about it. You can't see that anyway.
He got the Pussycat Dolls reference.
Oh my God, Ron.
Or she. I can't read the name.
You need to focus on this monitor, not that one.
Okay.
He is easily distracted. He does not understand. Just focus on this monitor.
Well,
look, I'm making it big for you so you can read it and everything.
Okay.
We're doing it live, boys. Oh my God. Okay, so we didn't get any questions this week from anybody. We love your questions. Please give us your questions. Send us your questions. We love your questions. So last week, what did we talk about again? Whoa, dog, no.
Yeah, please, Remus, don't throw up in the corner.
I'm so sorry.
That was not me.
That was the dog. Get out of here. Oh my, they are very needy today.
Go outside.
Just ignore him.
Ow.
Okay. Yes, the Westfall Act last week. That's what we talked about. Yes.
Yeah, and that was very depressing for everybody.
Yes. Well, it's not getting any better, folks, because today we're going to talk about moratoriums.
Yes.
And, the fact that you could possibly lose your house. Or apartment. So we're here to help you not lose your apartment.
Or house.
So what is a moratorium?
A moratorium is basically an order that comes down from the government that says you cannot do something.
Well, the Google definition, when I Googled it, it said the literal definition is a temporary prohibition of an activity.
Right. In this case, evictions and foreclosures.
Right. But those are about to go away.
March 31st, if they don't extend them further, the foreclosure and eviction moratorium that's put in place, it was first put in place last year by Trump, and it was extended by executive order with Biden. On March 31st, it will go away. So on April 1st, people who have not paid their mortgage for a while, mortgages have to be at least 90 days before they can go into the foreclosure process.
So the thing about the moratoriums is it just means you can't be evicted, but you still have to pay. So if you haven't paid for a year for your rent and mortgage, you still have to pay that.
Yes, you still.
So
now, if it's COVID related, there was a process where you could fill out some paperwork, and as long as you could still pay 25% of your rent, the rest was eligible to be forgiven.
Okay, so a worst case scenario, you didn't do that. Is there anything you can do now to help yourself with that? Like just talking to your landlord?
Talking to your landlord, see if they will take a payment plan to make up the back rent.
Basically, your rent will probably go up $100 or so.
It all depends how much you're behind.
Right.
Now, some people are so far behind that they don't have the ability to do a repayment plan. And so they're just thinking, I can do a bankruptcy and that will stop the eviction. Yes and no.
Okay, so I want to go back to the moratoriums a little bit. I want to I know that you want to, bankruptcy is like your specialty. I know you want to dive right into that, but I really want to focus. I really want to truly understand the moratoriums, what it means for you. Like, is it just eviction? Because there was more. Wasn't there more to it?
Depending on the state, certain states have their own moratoriums. Certain counties have their own moratoriums. So it's
across the board, it's different. So you need to look and see what these moratoriums were. But on a federal level, it was to keep people from being evicted.
Right.
But
it had to be COVID related.
Okay.
You could still get evicted for, loud parties at night.
Okay.
Littering in common areas, that kind of thing. It didn't stop those kind of.
But like if you lost your job or were furloughed due to COVID, it's okay.
It's extended for March 31st. There is a relief package going through the House right now that would extend the moratoriums until September.
That's the one that also includes the stimulus checks, correct?
Correct.
So there is the possibility that it could be extended. However, you don't want to rely on that because of the partisan politics that are happening right now.
Right.
So what you need to focus on is how you can keep yourself in your home if you cannot pay back that rent, which is probably going to be a high percentage of people.
107 million Americans rent.
Yeah.
That's a third of the nation.
What I'm just going to side note here. I find it really funny that, people pay $1,400, $1,500, $2,000 in rent, but the bank won't give you a loan for a house mortgage for $850 a month. Like, you're too broke to get a loan, but you're still paying, $2,000 in rent. That doesn't make sense to me. It's stupid.
Right. It's the system, and it works against the lower middle class and poor.
Yeah. Yeah. So another system that really just, rooted in
the FICO system itself is rooted in systemic racism.
Yeah. So Yeah. It's messed up.
I mean,
they don't. Yeah. Anyway,
honestly,
it is. No, it absolutely is.
honestly, the bank takes no risk loaning you money for the house.
Right.
They'll just take it back.
Right. Just take the house back if you can't pay it.
Right.
But if you can prove that you can, my thing is like, if you can prove, like, we've been here in this apartment for 2 years now. 3.
Yeah, 2.5.
2.5 years now. We've proven that we can pay a mortgage of at least what our rent is. Why can't we get the loan for a house? It doesn't make sense.
Because my FICO score is too low.
I know, because scores and loans and all of that, like student loans, screwed me over, and we're poor, so screw you because you're poor. Anyway, that was a tangent. I just wanted to put that out there. Back to you not losing a roof over your head. Yes. Now, how many options do you have? Do you just have the bankruptcy option to not lose it?
Well, we should divide it between mortgages and renting.
Okay.
Mortgages is easier. We'll do mortgages first.
Okay.
You can refinance your house.
And right now would probably be a good time to refinance because it's going to be low.
Take care of any money payments that you may lack by taking equity out and paying them off. That's what you can do. If you have no equity in your house, which some people are upside down because they've already taken equity out.
Right. Okay. Can you kind of explain what that is? I don't really understand upside down, sideways.
Okay. Generally.
Oh my God, the dog farted and it smells awful. Oh my God. It's stifling in here because we don't have the fan on because I want the best recording.
I hope that was a fart. That's all I'm going to say.
That is so bad. Wow.
Okay. Now, most people buy a house not just as a place to live, but as an investment. Say you buy a house for $100,000. Okay. It goes up in value over the years. It's now worth $200,000.
Right.
Okay. You can take that excess $100,000 out in equity on a refinance. And, pay bills, do remodeling, whatever you want to do. Now, in some cases...
What do you mean take it out? I am confused. I don't understand homeownership.
You had a $100,000 loan for your house.
Yes.
You've been paying it off.
Right.
Your house is now $200,000.
Right.
You now refinance your house for $200,000.
Why would you want to do that?
You pay off the $100,000. Say you wanted to remodel the house.
Okay, you pay up. Okay.
People do this all the time.
Okay, so you can refinance the house and then you can pay off the loan and then you don't have a loan anymore?
You don't have that first loan anymore. You got that second loan.
Why would you do that though? You're still paying on a...
Because possibly you bought your house in the 80s and you got 12% loan for 30 years.
Okay.
Well, you would have paid it off by now, but that's just an example. The refinance could be down to 3%.
Oh, so you refinance, pay off the old loan, and then have the new loan, which is the same, but then it's the same amount as the old loan.
Right, but it's possible that your cash flow is better because your monthly payment goes down.
I'd rather just pay the dang house off.
Right. I would, if I was going to refinance a house, I'd refinance it to a 15-year, but that's me.
Okay. All right. That is I know it's getting a little off topic, but it's kind of explaining. Wow, that is a rabbit hole you can go down and keep going.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, Scott would be a good one to bring on the podcast for mortgages, actually.
Yeah.
Because that's what he does.
Yeah. He will tell you why you would want to refine, why you wouldn't.
I have ideas for podcast with him now. Okay, all right, continuing. Okay, so
that's one thing you can do if you're behind on your mortgage. Now, they can't start the foreclosure process until you're at least 3 months behind. If the moratorium goes away. Right. You have to be
without the moratorium, though, if there was no moratorium,
you have to be 3 months behind in your mortgage payments before they can start foreclosing.
Okay, so there is a 3-month leeway just naturally.
Yes.
Okay, all right. So moratorium just kind of. So okay, all right. All right, so the moratorium, it doesn't stop. It didn't stop accruing interest or anything like that.
No.
So it's kind of like putting student loans in forbearance.
Yes.
Okay.
And so if you are so far behind in your mortgage that you can't make up the difference, then you still want to keep the house.
Mm-hmm.
Then your basic option is to work out a repayment plan with the bank or file a Chapter 13.
Okay.
Which is a reorganization.
So you do have two options. Go to your bank, talk to your bank, see if they're willing to work out a payment plan.
Right. And whatever payment plan they do agree to, get it in writing.
Yes. Okay.
The Chapter 13 is a reorganization under the bankruptcy courts, and that forces the bank to accept a repayment plan. But you got to show the court that you can afford it. And so whatever amount you owe, you can pay over the next 5 years while still paying your current mortgage payment.
Yeah. But it's usually, okay. And I will say this, my parents went through, do you know, was it a 13?
It was a 13.
Okay. So my parents went through that and they were able to catch up on their house, and not just their house, but all their bills that they had.
Yeah. When you do a 13, you have to throw all your bills into it.
Medical,
credit cards.
Credit, just not student loans.
Right. Now, the thing is, once you file either a Chapter 7 or a Chapter 13 with the bankruptcy court, an automatic stay is put in place. And an automatic stay is stopping any legal actions against you.
So wage garnishments. The eviction itself. Okay.
There is an exception for evictions that we'll get to.
Okay. So what else would it stop? Like, what else can the bank do to you on your mortgage if they don't take your house away? Like, can garnish your wages, can't they? Or can they?
They can garnish your wages. They can take money out of your bank account.
Oh, so it would stop that too then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's your basic choices with a mortgage.
Okay.
Now, if you rent on April 1st, and you have not done the proper paperwork, and you have not paid your rent in full, you're going to get a 3-day pay or quit. So you're given 3 days to make that up.
Wait, we're off of the mortgage then?
Yeah.
Okay, so those are your options. Go to. Okay, right, because they can't. Well, the eviction would be they just take your house away,
right,
and then you're left with no roof over your head.
Correct.
And are you still responsible for that loan, or is it?
No, if they take the house away, that loan goes. You're not responsible for that loan anymore.
Jesus.
And that's why the bank doesn't take a risk, because they're just going to sell it again.
Right. So there really is no risk to their investment there.
No.
So as a house owner, those are two options you have if the moratorium doesn't get extended.
Right. You can file a Chapter 13. You can try and work out a repayment with the bank, or you could try and refinance the house to pay off.
Okay. So three options. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, would you recommend looking into these even if it does get extended? Just
if it gets extended, look into it. Possibly prepare for it, because the process gets pretty quick when it comes time to being, foreclosed or evicted on.
Right.
Especially eviction.
Yeah. So now, say you live in an apartment or you're renting a house or something.
Right.
Okay.
Your moratorium is also up on March 31st. So on April 1st, if you haven't filled out the proper COVID paperwork, you're going to get what's called a 3-day pay or quit. And that is a notice from the landlords giving you 3 days to pay everything you owe.
Everything. So if you've been behind for a year, they want you to pay that. God.
Yeah.
I'm quickly trying to calculate what our rent would be what our rent is for a year. Wow, that's a lot of money.
So, and then what happens after you do not pay that 3-day is you get a summons to go to the courthouse for what's called an unlawful detainer, which is an eviction action. You're going to be given 5 days to answer. If you don't answer in that 5 days, the landlord goes in on the 6th day, gets a default judgment against you. And at that point, you're out. A bankruptcy will not stop the default judgment. If you're going to file bankruptcy to stop an eviction, you have to do it before the landlord gets a judgment against you. That is the most important thing.
Wow. So even if you filed bankruptcy, you're screwed if they've already... Now, my question is, can the landlords file that stuff before the moratorium's up? Or no, they have to wait until after the 31st?
They have to wait until after the 31st.
So I imagine the 1st is going to have a lot of landlords. Wow. Yeah. So they're probably already preparing their paperwork.
Oh, I'm sure it's already prepared.
Yeah. Also, for the record, what we pay in rent a year is what I made a year working as a manager at Home Depot. That's how much we pay in rent. That's how little you make at minimum wage. I was making minimum wage as a manager. Actually, I got a raise as a manager, and it still was barely, that minimum wage needs to go up, guys. Okay, anyway. So if you can't come up with $20,000 in 3 days, you're screwed.
In California, at least 20,000. In certain sections of the country, a year would be more like 4,800. It
is a little bit cheaper in some places, but those places tend to have people who, don't make enough to begin with. So wow.
So back to the eviction.
Yeah.
Okay. Your really only option, you can try and work out, a repayment plan with the landlord. Some landlords are more friendly than others. Mm-hmm. Mom and pop landlords are usually friendlier than ones run by property management companies who don't really care about you. They'll kick you out because they know more renters will come in.
Well, I'm going to play devil's advocate with you there. Mom and pops, because they are mom and pops, need the money more than the bigger people. So it really depends on the site. Like,
in my experience.
Yeah. But if you've got set, like, we don't have a lot of people in our apartment complex, say all of us are in the middle, say half of the people in this complex are in a moratorium. I don't think mom and pop it'd be hard for them to,
For the family trust that used to own the place.
Yeah, it'd be kind of like if it was an actual mom and pop, not like somebody's trust, but you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
that's a lot. But it also depends, like, some people have a couple of houses and they're like, yes, just work with that. Yeah.
At the same time, remember, they're not going to be foreclosed on.
What do you mean?
The owner of your apartment complex is not going to be foreclosed on because there's a foreclosure moratorium.
How does that not work for how does that not work for your house mortgage then?
Well, if you filled out some of the COVID paperwork.
Okay. Okay, but if the moratorium isn't expanded, then they also have to pay for...
Right.
Okay, so they're going to need their money.
Yeah, they are going to need their money.
Right. So, I mean, landlords are also screwed.
Yes, they are.
More so if they are a mom and pop landlord than,
when FDR did the moratorium during the Depression, it went on for years.
And then didn't they forgive all of the back?
I'm not sure what they forgave and what they didn't.
They had to have done something, because I mean, if you're not able to pay rent for 2 to 3 years, there's, whew. Jesus. Okay, so chapter 13 is a reorganization.
Yes.
But I know that there's more than just one type of bankruptcy.
Right.
So
you have chapter 7, which is known as a liquidation bankruptcy. That's where they get rid of your assets to pay your debtors.
Okay.
You can protect certain amounts depending on what state you live in. For example, in Florida, you can protect a house no matter how much it's worth.
Okay.
Whereas in California, you can protect a house up to $150,000 of equity.
What would be...
A couple would double that.
What would be your legal advice, to someone in our... Okay, say someone is say we are in a moratorium. Luckily, we're not. We're able to at least make our rent payment. If we weren't, what would we do?
The first thing I would do is go down on April 1st if it's not extended, and I would, instead of paying rent for that month, I would pay the filing fees and file a Chapter 13.
Now, those can be expensive.
Those fees are about $335.
In this state. Oh, it's federal, though, isn't
Yeah.
it? So that's across. Okay, so you're looking at $335.
Right.
Okay, so what if you can't afford that, to file that?
There is a fee waiver.
Okay.
That you can attempt to get. There's a formula that they use to see if you qualify for the fee waiver. So you have to be pretty poor.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I would file the Chapter 13. I would put everything I owed the landlord into the plan.
Right.
And then, including the month that you just didn't pay. And then starting in May, I would start paying the rent.
So how long does that usually take? Because, I mean, I know that for you with work and stuff, it's been kind of hard to do some of the bankruptcy stuff because things have been closed here. Like, it's been hell trying to do any of that stuff.
Doing a Chapter 13 is not something someone should do on their own.
Right.
You can put attorney's fees into the repayment plan, and the attorney will get a check from the Chapter 13 trustee every month. So fees for Chapter 13 vary.
Okay, what's the trustee thing?
Okay. The repayment plan.
Okay, you know what? Actually, tell us what happens after you file a bank. Like, okay, from start to finish, what is a bankruptcy like? Like all of the steps and stuff like that. Like, explain.
I'll do the Chapter 13 first.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll just focus on that one for this podcast.
Yeah, because the Chapter 7 will only postpone your eviction. It won't.
Yeah.
It won't help you. The Chapter 13.
So the Chapter 13 will keep you from being evicted. The Chapter 7 won't.
The Chapter 13 may help you from being evicted.
The Chapter 7 definitely won't.
Yeah, the Chapter 7 definitely won't.
Okay.
Once you file, the minute you file Chapter 13 paperwork, an automatic stay is put into place as to most legal proceedings against you. Unless they have an eviction judgment, that can still go forward.
Yeah.
Okay. After about 6 to 8 weeks, you're going to have a hearing. It's called a 341A hearing.
Okay.
This is where your plan gets gone over by the trustee. There's an appointed Chapter 13 trustee in every location.
Okay, so that's just like that's a federal employee that just does the bankruptcy stuff. No? Okay.
It's a federal employee, but he's also a private practice attorney in some cases.
Okay. Have you ever been a trustee for?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Have I applied? Yes.
Oh, okay. So what does the trustee actually do?
The trustee oversees all the plans, all the payments. So say your repayment plan was $100 a month. You have to send a check to the trustee for $100 every month.
Okay.
Don't be late.
Right.
They then take that $100 and divide it up between all of your creditors.
So they pay your bills for you?
Yes.
Okay.
So your mortgage or your rent may be $80 of that. And then your credit card may be $6, because they do it on a prorated basis.
So, okay. And so when you're filing this stuff, that's why you recommend going to an attorney, because there's paperwork and stuff.
There's tricks of the trade as to getting a plan confirmed.
Okay.
They can be anywhere from 3 to 5 years. If you're going to do a 5-year plan, because that's what your cash shows you can afford, you need to do it for 57 months.
Okay.
Because if you ever have a problem paying that during that 5 years, you can get a 3-month extension.
But you need someone who's knowledgeable in the area.
Right. That's why 57 months plus 3 is 60. If your plan is already 60 months, you don't get an extension.
Oh, so okay. Oh. Hey, Fart Wiener, what's up? Alan, our friend from back home, is also an attorney. And yes, currently we are talking about bankruptcies and how to and dealing with the moratoriums. So that's
now,
why. So, okay.
At this 341A hearing, the landlord can say that this repayment plan is a hardship form.
Okay.
And your plan can get denied. Or he could ask relief from the automatic stay because it's a hardship form. And then he can go ahead with the eviction process.
So the landlord can fight this.
Oh, yeah.
So how would you...
Generally, you don't get to fight a Chapter 13 plan.
Okay. But in rental stuff, you get to.
But in the Central District of California, yes.
Yikes. So, okay. So, all right. If somebody wants to hire you to be their bankruptcy attorney and they don't have the money to pay you, how would they pay you? I mean, they're filing bankruptcy because they're broke. How would they pay you?
What they would have to do is they'd have to have at least enough money for the filing fee.
Okay.
I can't front a filing fee. Now, I can put all my fees into the repayment plan. And the trustee would send me a check when he's sending out checks to all the creditors.
Gotcha.
I wouldn't be paid, much a month.
Right.
But that's where it is.
Now, when you have your bankruptcy attorney, do you end up dealing with them the whole time during your bankruptcy?
For Chapter 13?
Yeah.
Yes.
So
that's why
it's not like a one and done.
That's almost like a Chapter 7. 1 or 2 and you're done.
Oh, so it's okay.
Chapter 13 bankruptcy attorneys have to monitor the case.
So you
throughout
want
the
a
life
good
of the plan.
So you definitely want, because of the fact that it's such a long thing, you need an attorney.
Yes.
You cannot do that yourself. Okay.
Some really
intelligent people probably
smart but I would not recommend doing a Chapter 13 yourself.
If you're in California, Ron's a bankruptcy attorney. You can totally hire him. Just saying. Anyway, I know it sounds like we're trying to like promote you.
Yeah, especially since I can't take any bankruptcy clients working where I work.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true. So say you do all of this and you're able to work it out and you're able to do the bankruptcy and you're at the end of the 5 year, can you move in that 5 years? Or do you have,
not without the trustee's permission.
Are you stuck at that apartment? Say like in a year, you're like, I want to move. I want to find a different apartment, or I have another job and I need to.
You need the trustee's permission.
Oh.
Now the trustee will, for a good cause, will approve a lot of different things.
So you basically have a chaperone for the time.
Now,
Jesus.
Now, if you move to an apartment and that apartment is less than you're paying currently, that excess money goes to the trustee to pay your creditors.
Okay.
If you get a better job, he's going to inquire how much more money you're making. That excess money
will end up being wrapped into the plan.
Yep.
Wow. So there is a lot. Wow.
Your tax returns go to the trustee.
Well, that makes sense because you're trying to pay off the debt. Now, say you don't move, your job is fine. Like you start working finally. You don't need permission to move in Georgia. I guess every state's different when it comes to that.
Different federal district.
Oh.
But honestly, I have not been in bankruptcy court since coming back to California. So you may not need that anymore.
Okay. So can they, at the end of it, can you still get evicted? Say you don't want to move and the bankruptcy's over. Can the apartment?
If the bankruptcy's over, then you've paid off.
Right.
The
So legally, the apartment complex has no reason to evict you and they cannot evict you.
Correct. Not for lack of payment anyway.
But they can find some other reason.
Yeah.
I don't know that somebody would be that petty, though. Well,
I can think of one person.
There are people that would be that petty. Actually, I just thought of somebody, but I'm not going to say it out loud because we're live.
Yeah, that's the exact person I was thinking.
That's horrible.
You got to call it like you see it.
Well, it's true. So, Jesus. So you would say it's worth trying the bankruptcy route, just in case.
Yes.
Okay. Because if anything, so all right.
Chapter 7, not necessarily.
So here's another thing. Bankruptcy. What comes with bankruptcy is a very negative connotation. Do you see bankruptcies as a negative thing?
No.
Okay, explain to me why bankruptcies are not a bad thing. Because when people hear, "Oh, they've gone bankrupt," you immediately just have this look on you, and it's just like,
well, for everyone except Donald Trump, who went bankrupt 6 times.
Well, anyway, we won't talk about the rich people who get away with it, but that's how he gets away with it, because of the fact that he utilizes the bankruptcies to his benefit. I'm
not saying he's a bad businessman doing that, but that's what he does.
So in reality, I can't say like we, but other people could use bankruptcies the way he does.
Yeah, Mickey Rooney. I think he filed 5 or 6 times in his life.
Okay, so say you're someone who's struggling and you've always, someone's my background who's, always seen, who's always been like financially, well, I can't say my background, but like my mentality, right? You know where I come from, like, I can't even, it's always been looked at as a negative thing. And like, if you can't take care of yourself, you're a failure. And bankruptcy is seen as not being able to take care of yourself.
It is. You can file once every 7 years. You have any idea where that comes from?
Okay, but you're not answering my question. Yes, I know the answer to that, but...
Because you asked me before all that, about bankruptcy. Why
do you view it as a positive? Do you view it as a positive thing versus a negative thing?
Yes.
Okay, why?
Because it does you no good to go through your life as an indentured servant to people that you owe money that you're never going to be able to pay back.
So bankruptcy is a good way to restart, and it's not a bad thing to have on your record.
They call it a fresh start.
And it's not a bad thing to have on your record.
Your FICO score is going to take a hit. I don't care about my FICO score.
Well, I mean, we established at the beginning of the episode that credit scores are inherently racist anyway.
And Biden wants to get rid of FICO.
You know what? That is news to me, and I am all for that. But it is. It's inherently systemically racist. So it does nobody good.
It's also classist.
Yes. And we are one of the few countries who actually have a credit score and do that.
Right.
We are one of the few countries who does that.
There was no FICO in the 1800s. People got loans for land all the time.
Yeah. So now, why do you view it, other than, it's a fresh start, is there more to why you view it as a positive thing?
Well, it's biblical in nature.
Explain.
Once every 7 years, back in the Old Testament, you would go to people that you owed money to, and they would forgive you. They were required to forgive you.
I believe it's Jewish law. Every 7 years. 7 is a very spiritual number in both Judaism and Christianity. I don't know if it's also spiritual in Islam.
I don't know.
I don't actually know. But so that's why, like, you plant, for 7 years and then take a year off and then plant for 7 years, because it's the fresh start. It's the idea. Same thing with the 7 days thing. The
Yeah.
It's kind of poetic and spiritual. It's poetic and spiritual in nature. So, bankruptcy is rooted in the Bible. It's rooted in Judeo law.
Yeah.
That is a hard word for me to say, apparently.
You can say Jewish law.
Well, I mean, I think the technical term is Judeo law, but yeah, in Jewish law, it is literally rooted in Jewish law. That's interesting.
Yeah.
But we don't do it the way Jewish law did it because they forgave it completely.
Correct. We're capitalists. We need our blood money. You can't get a fresh start if you can't protect at least some of your assets.
So, but okay. So my argument on that is, okay, say you're a bank. Well, I can understand that because, you do have to be able to give out money to other people as a bank. But yeah, that's interesting. But I mean, if we don't have money in our pockets, we can't continue funneling into the capitalist mechanism.
Right.
So probably, I bet if you forgave all of the loans that exist in this country right now, the economy would boost because people would have money in their pockets to go buy shit. And they would quickly get into debt because we don't understand how to manage debt.
I'm not an economist. I don't know what that would do.
I'm not an economist either, but that is my theory. If you are an economist, I would love to hear what you have to say about about my theory. Please tell me. Because I'll guarantee you people will go into debt within a year because they don't know how to manage debt.
Well, the problem is, and this is going off on a tangent, credit interferes with supply and demand. It allows people to live above their means. And once that happens, you're going to fall into a black hole.
Oh, it's changed. It's chapter 7 is 8 years.
It's technically 7.
Okay. What do you mean?
You have to wait for the discharge.
Oh, which takes a year after.
And then you wait for the 7, the 7 years. And then
so the discharge takes a year.
And usually 6 months.
Oh, okay. So it's okay. Because Alan asked about it. 11 USC 727.
What about it?
Let me look it up and see what he's talking about. Oh, the discharge. It is 8 years from filing, not discharge. You're right. Okay, so he was counting after discharge, I guess. Wow. So there are ways to save yourself from the moratorium. What do you?
Oh, breathe in deep. Thank you, Remus.
I'd rather not. The look on your face. I was like, what is happening?
Remus farted. Now there is.
Oh, there it is. Dang it. Oh, there is what?
There is something else in the works that may help people. And that is the stimulus checks, which may or may not be approved.
Right.
But in order to get your stimulus check, they have to have
something crawled up that dog's butt and died. That is nasty.
Your address or your bank account from your 2019, last year's.
Okay, backtrack a little bit because I was distracted by the dog fart.
Well, who isn't? Another option people may have that may save them is the stimulus checks.
Right, but it's not going to be enough to pay off a year's worth of debt.
No, but it may be enough to pay off 2 or 3 months.
Oh, I see.
You know, not everybody...
Depending on where you're at. Gotcha.
Right. Now, you got to file your taxes as soon as you can, because they need your current address and bank account information.
Okay.
So they can directly deposit those stimulus checks into your bank account.
And if you haven't received your stimulus check, you have to file that you haven't received one.
Correct.
If you were supposed to receive one, which you can go to the website, it's a government website.
IRS, just look up Internal Revenue Service.
Oh yeah, it's like irs.gov. I think they have a thing.
Yeah.
They have a thing on their front page that says, do I get a stimulus check or something like that? So you have to go look that up and see, because if you were supposed to get one or both, you have to claim it.
Yes.
Like, we haven't got ours, so we're going to have to claim it.
All right.
You have to claim that, because you have to put it on your taxes, because you are like, you have to file that you did not get it.
Right. Otherwise, you're not going to get anything.
Yeah. Well, isn't there like a penalty for not filing for not letting them know too?
About the stimulus check?
Yeah. Like,
not that I know of.
Oh, I was
There's
thinking,
a penalty for not filing your taxes.
well, yeah, there's a penalty for not filing your taxes. File your taxes. But
a
yeah.
lot of people did not get the second stimulus check.
Right.
Because their information was not up to date.
I mean, we didn't get the first or the second, so, you know. Is there anything else that you wanted to mention about moratoriums? And so this is somewhat a hopeful podcast, you know, not so depressing as last week.
Yeah, that's true.
So let's kind of wrap that up. You have 3 options. So if the moratorium is not extended, and even if it is extended, you know, there's still the possibility that you could lose this stuff once it's finally over.
Correct.
So 3 things, wrap it up for us. 3 things you can do for a mortgage if you have a mortgage.
Refinance.
Finance your house.
Work a repayment plan with the bank. File Chapter 13.
Okay. And for the eviction, or for the apartments, I'm sorry, to keep yourself from being evicted.
Trying to work out a payment plan with your landlord. Barring that, Chapter 13.
Before they have the ability.
Get an eviction judgment against you.
Okay. And with that, that's the podcast, folks. Thank you, everybody who was in chat. Alan, Nick, thank you so much. If y'all have any questions, please let us know. We love your questions. We love your comments. But thank you so much for listening to Learning the Law. If you liked this podcast and want to hear more, don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, and share in all your favorite places. You can find it hosted live here on Twitch every Tuesday, twitch.tv/PhoenixNymphy. Use the hashtag Learning the Law, all one word, on TikTok and other social media outlets to follow. You can find Ron on Twitter at NecroKijo, and me on all social media platforms at PhoenixNymphy. If you have any questions, please tweet us, comment, DM, email, or you can email us at twolazydogsmedia@gmail.com. This has been a Two Lazy Dogs Productions.
Bye, everyone.